Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the story of a single transformative year in the life of Morten Flate Paulsen, an expert in online education. It was supposed to be a year about slowing down, but as you're about to see, it turned into one of the busiest and most impactful years of his life.
Right? Let's start with this quote. It's the kind of statement that just hints at a much, much bigger story. So we're going to unpack that story. A year of new beginnings, of unexpected global responsibilities, and a really powerful idea about what community even means in our digital age. So the year 2017 didn't kick off with some new project or a big idea. Nope. It started with a life-changing move. Paulsen and his family relocated to Kragerø, a small, really picturesque coastal town in Norway. I mean, the plan was pretty clear, right? Step back from the hustle, work a little less, and just enjoy the quiet life. But as Paulsen himself noted, sometimes life has other plans, and his were about to change in a big way. Just as he's settling into this quiet new life, a major new role pops up. In February, Paulsen becomes the chair for the International Council for Open and Distance Education, ICDE for short. We're talking about a key global organization in his field. And listen, this wasn't just some ceremonial title. It was a serious, unpaid commitment to oversee a major global organization. He was suddenly responsible for everything from leadership oversight to legal compliance. It was a far cry from the simple annual report he thought he'd be writing.
So this new global role, it immediately pulled him right into the wider European network, connecting him with colleagues all across a continent that was itself in the middle of some pretty significant changes. His travels took him to major conferences covering a huge range of topics. 1 minute he's in Copenhagen, where everyone's talking about cutting-edge tech like AI and VR. The next, he's in Jönköping, and the focus is all about human connection, networking, and building new partnerships. And check this out. This is a fascinating little detail from that year. Right in the middle of all this travel, a new EU policy kicked in that ended those crazy expensive roaming charges. Paulsen said it was his favorite small talk topic at the time because it wasn't just a convenience, it was a real, practical change that made international collaboration so much easier. It literally brought Europe a little closer together. Okay, so while all this is happening on the global stage, Paulsen was also just trying to become part of his new hometown. There's this old saying in Kragerø that it takes 3 generations to be accepted as a local. Well, he decided to challenge that, using his digital expertise. He came up with this brilliant concept he calls the digital waterfront. The idea is simple but powerful. In our modern age, a community's online footprint, its digital face to the world, is just as vital to its identity and its growth as its physical landmarks. It's the new front door to a town. And this is where it gets really cool. You can see exactly how he put that theory into practice. He used digital archives to learn the town's history, discovered its culture online, and connected with local entrepreneurs through Facebook. But here's the key. It didn't just stop in the digital world. Those online connections led directly to a physical space. He co-founded Chronicle Co-work. As if a new home and a new global board position weren't enough, 2017 was also the year for launching some really ambitious new educational projects that spanned multiple countries. Yeah, 2 major projects, PONC and EDEN, got kicked off. The first one was all about improving online Norwegian language courses, connecting partners from Norway all the way to the Baltic states. The second one focused on figuring out the best ways to teach science subjects online, and that was another collaboration between institutions in Sweden and Latvia. Okay, so now let's zoom out for a second, because this incredibly busy year didn't happen in a vacuum, right? It was all unfolding against a backdrop of some pretty significant and often turbulent world events. Paulsen's travels and collaborations in Europe took place amidst this really challenging global landscape. He specifically mentioned how the terrorist attack in Stockholm, which was so close to his conference in Jönköping, was this sobering reminder of the security concerns that were on everyone's minds that year. So when you add it all up, a demanding international board position, a massive cross-country move, co-founding a new local business, launching multiple international projects, I mean, it was a year of just immense activity. But the result, by one of the most traditional measures of academic productivity, was this number right here. 0. Not a single academic publication in the entire year.
And this raises a fascinating question, not just for academics, but really for all of us, about how we measure progress and impact in our work. Was a year spent building networks, leading organizations, and establishing new communities, was that a lost year? And that leaves us with this final thought to chew on. In a world that's more connected than ever, what truly defines a productive year? Is it the tangible output we can count, like articles and papers? Or is it the often invisible, but maybe more impactful, work of building connections and building communities, both online and off?